is, basically, this is just coming from, and I put these amendments I've been there. This is just going to these meetings every week, Super Neighborhood, Civic Club, things like that. They want to see again. I think this is going to help the brand of Rebuild Houston and the things that we're doing. The constituents want to see things in their neighborhood and within their community, and I think this is the way to help it out. Help them out.
No, Councilmember, I just asking a question because when I asked you this 2 weeks ago, you said you did not want it in any way impact existing CIP projects, and this would have potentially an impact on district CIP projects.
It potentially can, but we don't. I'm still waiting on the percentage breakdown of major thoroughfares compared to streets. Yeah, streets.
Yes, sir. And the reason I ask is you've made an amendment at the table, or substitute at the table, and I don't know the impact on.
Yes, and I put the request in. I'm still waiting.
Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two questions. One, I don't think all the money that comes into the dedicated drainage and street and renewal fund is eligible for residential projects. I think we have metro projects, which are transportation projects, and then we have some state and federal money that might not be eligible. I know we're redoing Memorial Drive with some of that money. So I just wonder how it affects that kind of money. And secondly, most of the money that we're getting in our District G is on major thoroughfares. We have terrific problems out there, and without seeing the impact of what this would be on those projects which are heavily supported by the constituents, then I couldn't favor.
Councilmember Bradford.
Thank you, Mayor. I think maybe this is the first discussion and vote that we will take from a policy standpoint at the table about the 60-40 allocation decision. I think it has been kind of made, not from a policy standpoint. I don't recall taking a vote on this 60-40 allocation decision. And if it were to impact future CIPs, as I understand the amendment, it would impact it positively from a neighborhood standpoint, because we are affording more funding opportunities for neighborhood street issues. There may be a negative impact on the major thoroughfare side. Am I interpreting that correct, Mayor?
I'm not saying positive or negative,
It just may have an impact on existing CIP projects in district council members' districts that have to do with major thoroughfares, yes.
But if it does have an impact, it's going to allocate additional funding opportunities for neighborhood issues.
Well, the money has to come from somewhere.
But my question is, it would shift in the formula simply allows council members to concur with the concerns we heard across the city during the CIP process, where many citizens wanted, more work done in their neighborhood proper.
I would suggest that if the council member had thought through this a little bit, he might have added with the consent of the district council member.
Well, I'm not a district council member, so I'll stand down on that issue. But I will say that I understand that we spend that 60-40 formula with the city on major thoroughfares now, and people have to certainly get to their neighborhoods, while at the same time there's a very loud cry across the city to do more in the neighborhoods in the way of improvements. So I'd like to yield to Councilmember Davis at this point to respond to the district council member's input.
Well, I guess maybe, I didn't think through it enough. I thought that by freeing up money on the last vote, that we'd be able to do more neighborhood street reconstruction, or work on our streets in our neighborhood. So And I understand there's gonna be some shifting there, I really do. And again, that's why they do what they do. I believe they can put down line items, we look at our CIP, make a get a percentage. Again, I have not seen that percentage.
But that's the purpose of your amendment, is to shift, to allow enough time to reasonably accommodate the shifting to spend more dollars in the neighborhood.
Correct.
That's what you intend to do with
Yes,
the
sir.
amendment. Okay, thank you, appreciate it, Mayor.
Councilmember Stark?
I have to express my concern, and I appreciate the spirit of the amendment, but I have to express my concern. It raises the question, as Councilmember Pennington said about Memorial, we've also worked really hard to parallel projects within the Memorial City Tours area with the Gessner, from I-10 up to Long Point, and then Long Point to Newlands is in the CIP. Then I've got the Long Point initiatives, and I don't know how this, if at all, would impact, because I don't have my notes here on those here at the table. It's a lot to jeopardize many years of work to get it to this point. As many of you know, it takes years to get anything to where you want it to be. So I don't know how that impacts my district, and so I have concern about that. And if anyone can enlighten me at the table, I'll be happy to take the information, but those are things that are very important to my district and to the business districts in the area, and a number of other issues. And I appreciate neighborhood street reconstruction projects. That's how I started many years ago, volunteering, was being involved in that process. And I think that, you know, NSRs are very important, but I don't want to jeopardize these projects and delay any further if that is what the unintended consequences may be.
Councilmember Costello?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Davis, thank you for submitting this, and I want to thank Councilmember Green, Chairman Green, for his amendment as well. As an at-large council member, I go out and talk to a lot of people, and as one of the creators of Rebuild Houston, I go out and continue to support this particular program. And the challenge that we have is that people want improvements done in the neighborhood. And so I recall back several years ago during the Oversight Committee, there was a resolution from the Oversight Committee encouraging Public Works to transition from heavily invested in major thoroughfares to more of a balance between major thoroughfares and community streets by 2018. But we still have the public demanding working in their neighborhoods, and I understand that. And so, you know, I'm supportive of the spirit of the amendment. I'm a little concerned about how we get there and how quickly we get there. Because it is, in fact, a neighborhood revitalization program, as well as a citywide program in terms of major thoroughfares. And I never thought about what Councilmember Pennington brought up as far as some of these road projects have constraints, meaning they have federal dollars, which is for major thoroughfares, or they have metro dollars, which is for major thoroughfares. So those monies need to be pulled out before you start doing this calculation. So I'm not quite sure how we implement this in such a short period of time.
Councilman,
I'm in favor of it.
can I have a minute?
Sure.
Can you give me an update, or do you have an update on the 2018 projection, where we're supposed to be right now, how that process is moving?
Well, I believe at one time, if you look at the process manual that Public Works is using as a guide for Rebuild Houston, there was a pie chart in there that shows at the end of the program, we should be spending about $650 million a year on street and drainage projects, and they had a distribution of major thoroughfares versus local streets. And I'm only going by memory, but I recall it would look like about 30% major thoroughfare, a similar amount in local streets, and then they had broken out also drainage-related projects to encompass that 650 million. But it was a transition to get to it. And the Oversight Committee at that time, I believe you remember, Councilmember, asked to expedite that transition up to 2018. So again, I'm in favor of the spirit. I'm not quite sure if within 90 days we can get Public Works to show us that, Councilman.
Oh,
It doesn't say within that.
Maybe I'm looking at the beginning of fiscal year 2016 through